In his first interview after taking over as India's permanent representative to the United Nations in New York, Ambassador T S Tirumurti emphasized the key agenda and priorities of India at the world body. He will serve as the Indian envoy at a very crucial time when India is set to become a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council after a decade.
Now, you are the Indian envoy to the United Nations at a very key period. India will be a part of the United Nations Security Council come next year. The elections are on the 17th of June. What are your key priorities going to be? This comes after a decade. So what are the key priorities of your mission as an ambassador to the United Nations, but particularly focusing on the UNSC?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. My first priority is to get India elected to the Security Council as a non-permanent member. And the elections are going to come rather soon. In fact, it will be on the 17th of June. And interestingly, this will actually be the first, I would say, event within the UN building since they locked down in mid-March. So it's going to be interesting. The External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, has already launched the set of priorities of what we see for our stint in the UN Security Council. We have actually five major priorities under the acronym of NORMS, which is really a new orientation for a reformed multilateral system. And if you like, I can give a small brief.
Absolutely, please go ahead.
Yeah. In fact, our first priority would be new opportunities for progress. You're already aware that we have been working very closely with our partners, especially in development and in development partnership for sustainable peace. And in fact, COVID-19, which has impacted every one of us in various ways, even during this period, India has been assisting more than 120 countries during this period. So that is really our USP. And consequently, we see that in the Security Council, particularly during COVID and the post-COVID period, it gives us a great opportunity to work for our agenda, which is development and peace. The second priority, which we'll focus on, is an effective response to international terrorism. And India has, very well, been a victim of cross-border terrorism. And we have been extremely resolute in trying to tackle and fight terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. So our presence in the Security Council will give us an opportunity to pursue a very constructive, concrete, and a result-oriented agenda with respect to terrorism. Our third priority would be reform of multilateral systems. You're aware that the Prime Minister of India has already talked very eloquently about his vision for reformed multilateralism. And it is very clear that the multilateral system is not reflecting contemporary realities anymore. And therefore, I think it gives an opportunity for us to work within the Security Council to make it more credible and make it more effective. I think that would be an important focus. And naturally, a very, very important focus of reform will be the reform of the UN Security Council. And the fact that India has an excellent credentials to be a permanent member of the Security Council. The fourth one would be a comprehensive approach to international peace and security. And I think in this, armed conflicts all over the world are getting very complex. And traditional and non-traditional, security compulsions and security challenges, they're only exploding. And apart from that, we also need to see the mandate of UN peacekeeping. The Indian peacekeepers, they have done a historic and pioneering work all over the world, and they have been protecting lives of millions. So it's time we started protecting the protectors. And finally, the fifth one would be on technology with a human touch. And in the last few years, India has done tremendous work to bring technology to the people for the welfare of our people. And this is, I think, something we can take to the rest of the world and, tell them how technology can be a factor for the good. So I think overall, I'm hoping that during our tenure, we project our ethos, which is Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. The world is one family.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.